Good morning, all of you. So today we'll continue with the collisions in two dimension and the impulse. Combinedly, we'll discuss all the most of the numericals. So previous class, what we discussed about the two-dimensional collision, and we have concluded that you can conserve momentum in any direction, but we do take some specific directions where the mathematics can be minimized here. So I just picked up one problem related to that. We'll just work out on this one. Now read the question. I'll magnify it. It is a little bit very small. Read the question, no? Two spheres are moving towards each other. Let me construct the basic diagram. So it is so this is the first sphere. Its center of mass. Already one question I discussed, if you can remember. So I'll directly go for when they come in contact. We'll take the situation because already the diagram is there, no? Now when they come in contact, we need diagram. Yeah. So this will be, and this should be the line of impact. No, what are the masses? Masses, we took earlier masses to be same, no? Now the masses are different here. So this is C1, C2. With the mass of this, let it be M1, let it be M2. Okay, how to solve this particular problem now? He's asking so many things. Common velocity along line of impact, final velocities along line of impact, impulse of deformation, impulse of maximum potential of deformation, loss in kinetic energy during collision. What is the basic method? We should resolve the initial velocities of that colliding balls along the line of impact, no? Just before impact, just after impact, we need that one. So now this should be the theta, and radius is r, so this distance is r. So then from the triangle C1, C2, if I take help of the triangle, sine theta should be r by 2r. So theta is 30 degrees. So here I'll resolve the velocities, one along the line of impact perpendicular to line of impact. If this is theta, this should be theta. I'll take velocity. So one velocity I'll resolve perpendicular to line of impact. This is before collision. Other will be along the line of impact. Similarly for this also, a component of velocity perpendicular to line of impact. The other will be parallel to line of impact. Perpendicular I'll show by green color arrow. Can we calculate those velocities? So shall we call that as u1 perpendicular? And this is u1 parallel. This is u2 perpendicular, u2 parallel. This is the just before collision, just before collision. This is the condition. Then how the impulse will act along the line of impact. So the direction of impulse we show. So this will be the direction of the impulse. I think now you can manage very easily. This is the impulse that will act. Now we should calculate that u1 perpendicular. So what can this is theta. This is theta. So 4 meter component of that. So u1 perpendicular should be, and this is u1 and this is u2. So u1 is 4 meter per second. So what is u1 perpendicular? Should be equal to yeah. Let's proceed now. So let's write down all the values. So what is u1 perpendicular? u1 perpendicular should be equal to u1 sine theta. u1 is 4 sine theta 30 1 by 2 2 meter per second. u1 parallel should be equal to u1 cos theta. u1 is 4 root 3 by 2, so 2 root 3. Similarly, u2 parallel. Parallel means along the line of impact. u2 parallel should be equal to u2 cos theta. This should be 2 root 3 by 2 root 3. It will be easy if you can resolve. That's all here. It will be easy if you resolve. So 2 1 by 2 theta. So 1 meter per second. Okay, these are the velocities. So now look at that. Quotient of restitution is telling equal to 1 by 3. After collision, what is the one firm thing you can say about after collision? What will be conserved? What in what direction? So I'm just asking in what direction you are going to conserve momentum in any direction. But what is the best way of doing this problem? Along line of impact, perpendicular to line of impact. So finally, after collision, we'll go for it. So same set of diagram. After collision, which component of velocities which component of velocities will change, which component of velocities should not change. So the velocities will remain as it is. Shall I write them as v1 perpendicular and this to v2 perpendicular? And now what about the m1, m2 in what direction you can suggest the values? So I'll assume that this will be v1 parallel and this will be v2 parallel. And what is V1 perpendicular? V1 perpendicular should be equal to U1 perpendicular, and V2 perpendicular should be equal to U2 perpendicular. I think the problem has become very simple, you see, and this particular thing is line of impact. What is this dotted line? Line of impact. First, we'll calculate what is V1 V1 parallel, V2 parallel. Because V1 perpendicular already we know it. There's a second sphere. If you can construct this much of diagram, I think problem solved. You are in far better position. So let's apply the conservation of linear momentum along line of impact. So why not along x? Little bit more mathematics along y-axis. So momentum is considered any direction, but I'll prefer along line of impact. It'll be much easier for us because all the V1 perpendiculars, there are perpendicular components will not change. Only parallel components will be there. Will there be any exchange of velocity? No. Masses are different and E is not equal to 1. So applying conservation of linear momentum, M1 U1 parallel minus M2 U2 parallel. I am going to choose this direction as positive. Should be equal to minus M1 V1 parallel plus M2 V2 parallel. M1 is how much? 2 kg. U1 parallel 2 root 3. M2 4. U2 parallel root 3. This will be 2 kg. V1 parallel. M2 4. V2 parallel. So 4 root 3 and 4 root 3. This will cancel out. So what we are getting is like V1 parallel in fact is equal to how much? 2 V2 parallel. Okay, there's a one equation, keep it here. So let me apply quotient of restitution formula. E is equal to V2 parallel minus of V1 parallel divided by U1 parallel minus U2 parallel. V2 parallel we don't know. Minus of minus, this will be V1 parallel divided by this U1 parallel is 2 root 3 plus U2 parallel is root 3. Value of E we know. Value of E is how much given? 1 by 3. Substituting that, 1 by 3 equal to V2 parallel plus V1 parallel V2 parallel plus V1 parallel is equal to root 3. Substitute that, V1 parallel equal to 2 V2 parallel 1 and 2. So V2 parallel should be equal to root 3, 1 by root 3. We can V1 parallel equal to, so this should be V2 parallel 2 V2 parallel equal to root 3. So therefore V2 parallel is equal to 1 by root 3. V2 parallel 1 by root 3 means V1 parallel should be equal to 2 by root 3.
Minus 2 by root 3, sir.
Why ma? What happened? Only magnitude.
No, sir, correct, sir, correct. Yes.
Only magnitude I'm finding out. Keep it here. So we have this particular thing. So what is the final velocities now? What about V1, V2? I think I can't magnify less than this. This is the least thing. And now what is V1? V1 equal to V1 parallel square, V1 perpendicular square. V2 equal to V2 parallel square. So from this, we'll get the final speed or the final velocities along line of impact. Is that okay now? So we have 1 by root 3 and you can see that one. And V1 is 2 by root 2 by root 3 means opposite to that one. There's the meaning of that. And V1 perpendicular already we know. It should be called U1 perpendicular. So using this, I'll get the speed of the colliding objects. I think the maximum part of the problem got over. There's a method of this one. So whenever two-dimensional collision comes, what is very important? Line of impact. Initial velocities, you resolve along line of impact, perpendicular line of impact, and apply conservation of Newton coefficient of restriction along line of impact. The unknowns are obtained. Next, okay, let's come to the collision idea. So what will happen to these colliding objects? Initially like this, there's a initial, there's a final, what we have. In between, what will happen? They'll undergo deform, and at maximum deformation, they'll have common velocity. Will I agree this? At maximum deformation, they'll have common velocity. I want that common velocity. So what is the sequence that will take place now? So they'll undergo deformation. I'm getting into the conceptual part of the problem here. So this is a line of impact. Just I'll give a set of diagrams. Huh? It'll be easy for you, this one. One problem if you can manage. So let them ask even here also in 2 dimension you can. No, before collision. So what will happen to the, they'll collide like this. Just before collision. Same thing I'm repeating. And they'll start undergoing deformation. No? Like this. This is what, and maximum deformation will occur. And at maximum deformation, rough diagrams it is. Then again reformation begins. Then finally what will happen? They will emerge. Everywhere the concept of that should be retained. Whatever the type of collision, 1 dimension or 2 dimension. This is the initial. This is the final. And here they will have common velocity. So till here is what? Common velocity. How to calculate common velocity? I think we have a very good conclusion here. So let's assume that they'll have common velocity in this direction. And let's try to find out that common velocity. So this particular point I'll call as maximum deformation. So here an impulse will be acting JD and they will have velocity say V1 parallel dash, V2 parallel dash. V1 perpendicular will be there. So I'll show that also. V1, it will not change throughout the problem. So this is what actually the overall u1 perpendicular, u2 perpendicular, u1 parallel, u2 parallel. So that perpendicular components will not change, will remain as it is. Already we have indicated that one. Okay, now let's see that after this. So impulse of reformation will occur. Here the maximum impulse. Just call some j, or just leave it here, or call j that one. Now impulse of reformation will occur, will act. And this impulse of reformation, what it will do? It will make it to acquire velocities, say v2 double dash, v2 parallel double dash, v1 parallel double dash. And finally, it will acquire how much of velocity? v1 parallel, and this is v2 parallel. This is m2, this is m1. Where the maximum deformation will occur here only, where they have common velocity. So for that, what we should do? Apply conservation of linear momentum. Diagram okay? I'll try to shift it down a little bit. Oh, no, not possible. I'm able to show only this much here. How to calculate that common velocity? We should apply, there's a line of impact. So I'll apply conservation of linear momentum. So applying conservation of linear momentum, m1 u1 parallel minus m2 u2 parallel should be equal to m1v m1v. This shall I put minus m1v. Look at m1 u1 parallel minus m2 u2 parallel. This quantity will become zero, no? LHS. So what is the common velocity? Will be zero. How do you can say? Substitute the values. Looking at these values, no? m1 u1 parallel is how much? 2 root 3. Already I think we have checked it, no? Here. 2 into. Okay, we'll do one thing. 2 into 2 root 3, 4 root 3. So therefore the V will be 0. Common velocity will be 0. Is that okay? Fine. After this is asking now the common velocity along line of M 0. Final velocity is the line of your gun. Impulse of deformation. How to calculate this? Impulse of deformation. I think from the initial to the third diagram, what all that will act on any one body, that is impulse of deformation. Any formula can you write for this? M1 U1 parallel JD should be equal to, we'll get the impulse of deformation M1 U1 parallel from where to where? You have to pick up from here to here. Is it justified? I think there's something wrong, no? Till V only we should take it, no? And why this negative sign? Nothing to do. V is in the direction of this one. So this should be in fact positive only. And this should be not V1, it should be V. So JD should be equal to M1 U1 parallel minus V. Is it okay, no? From initial to where they attain common velocity. Maximum deformation is what? Impulse of deformation will act here. What is impulse of reformation? You can pick up anything. So let me take the same M1 only. I need a space. I'll continue below here. Any equation, can we write it here? So m1 m1v. So what shall I write? Plus jr or minus jr? M1v minus jr is equal to minus of m1 v1 parallel. Solve this, you'll get impulse of reformation. From maximum deformation to final situation. Finally, what will happen? The m1 will be moving opposite to that. So plus jr or minus jr. The jr should be with respect to the velocity v. At maximum deformation, the common velocity is what? m1v in the direction. So I'm taking like this here. Solving this, we'll get the jr. After this, impulse of deformation, impulse of reformation, maximum potential of deformation, maximum potential of deformation. How to calculate this? The initial kinetic energy here, that should be equal to the difference in kinetic energy at the initial and at the maximum deformation. The difference of that will be converted into maximum deformation energy. So I'll write it, initial kinetic energy is equal to, now what to do here, which energy you are going to take it. What about u1 perpendicular? Will that also will determine, because they remain constant, no? So therefore I'm square plus u2 parallel square. This is the initial kinetic energy. At maximum deformation, what is the kinetic energy? V is 0, no? So therefore, shall I say that what all this initial kinetic energy which was there got converted into, I think this is not some right, k naught, because u1 perpendicular, u2 perpendicular should not come into this picture. So this should be equal to maximum deformation energy, because finally both the objects what happen, they're having common velocity 0. So what is the kinetic energy is 0. So what all the kinetic kinetic energy due to speed along line of impact, that only got converted into deformation energy. Loss in kinetic energy. What to do for loss in kinetic energy? Initial loss will be delta K should be equal to Ki minus Kf. What is Ki? Here you should include all the perpendicular components. What will happen? They remain constant, no? So I'll straight away, to simplify the problem, I'll directly go for it. M1 U1 parallel square M2 U2 parallel square minus M1 V1 parallel square by 2. Sir, why you didn't brought perpendicular components? Why didn't brought perpendicular components? Why didn't brought perpendicular? Because the perpendicular components, they remain same, no? V2 perpendicular is U2 perpendicular, V1 perpendicular is U1 perpendicular. Only velocities along line of impact, their magnitude and direction will change. So that I am taking LPL. This will be the loss in kinetic energy. Okay, questions can be asked in advance. Along line of impact is very important. So the idea of that here also, not only add on, even in two-dimensional collision also, we can discuss that all the basic ideas of the collision. Got it? Just verify calculation. Everything is fine here. Okay, let's take the next question. Are you able to read the question? Okay, we'll do one thing. I'll move on to next page. Big questions, lot of problem. Huh? I think I'm able to display this much here. Read the question now. A disk of mass m and radius of curvature r is lying on a frictionless ground. A small ball of mass m moving on the ground with a velocity v strikes the disk and collides with it. The quotient of resolution being e. Just we'll calculate velocity of the disk and velocity of the particle. So overall diagram is of like this. So this is the okay. There is a particle. It is approaching. No. So there's a particle. There's a particle which will be moving with a. So this is the theta. Show some instead of particle. No. Show some like this. It'll be easy for you to write equation. So it is approaching with a velocity v. So this I'll call m1. I'm changing symbol. There's a radius r. No, okay, no, get into the question. It'll come and collide. So when it collides, what conditions will arise? So
So
first
their
thing,
masses are same, right?
no, disk of mass m, small ball of mass m. Masses are given same. Huh? I'll check it. Yeah, let it be here. Masses are small ball of mass m moving on a ground collides with the quotient of restitution being e. Yeah, masses are same. Huh? No. This small disk will come in contact with the condition. How the impulse should act, line of impact. I think the only best thing is what happened. We have to search for line of impact. No, along the line of impact, the impulse will be acting. So keeping that in mind, we can predict the in what direction, possible direction it can move. Okay, no. So just I'll try to make a guess of this one. What possible can happen for this after collision? So shall we just before collision? Shall we resolve this velocity? So here it is having velocity. So one component of velocity will be v cos theta. With that, it will approach u1 parallel. I'll put it. So other component will be u1 perpendicular. So what is u1 parallel? U1 parallel is v cos theta. U1 perpendicular is v sin theta. And this is a test. How the impulse? The impulse will act in this direction. What is the possible direction in which it can move now? Anybody can solve once you reach here. We should apply conservation of linear momentum along line of impact. So same diagram. Let me take this. I'm giving diagrams in exam. You can't draw so many diagrams. You should imagine. I'm making clear. Just to make you understand, I'm drawing so many diagrams. In exam, there's no necessity to draw so many diagrams. You should straight away assume the things and work out. After collision, what do you expect the velocities of the colliding objects? That u1 perpendicular will remain same. u1 perpendicular will remain same. So this should be line of impact, common normal will come and collide. Common normal, common tangent will be this one, common normal. v1 perpendicular, this will be v1 parallel, and this will be v2 parallel. Why there's no v2 perpendicular? Because the impulse is acting only along line of impact, and initially this is a test. And finally, this what happens here. Okay, now get into the thing. What is u1 perpendicular? u1 perpendicular should be v sine theta. u1 parallel should be equal to u1 perpendicular v sine theta. u2 u1 parallel should be equal to v cos theta. And this should be equal to v1 perpendicular should be equal to u1 perpendicular, because now the impulse is acting along line of impact, and perpendicular component of the colliding objects which are directed, or the velocities, component of velocities which are directed perpendicular to line of impact will not change. So v1 perpendicular should be equal to u1 perpendicular. Any equation can we write? I should apply conservation of momentum along line of impact. Then applying that to anything directed towards right, I'll take it positive. So therefore m1 u1 parallel should be equal to m2, say, minus m1 v1 parallel plus m2 v2. Or this is only v2, will write it. Masses are equal, m1 equal to m2. So therefore this will be u1 parallel minus v1 parallel plus v2. Quotient of restitution formula, E should be equal to v2 minus of v1 parallel by u1 parallel. This is equal to E u1 parallel. u1 parallel is how much? V cos theta. v2, this unknown thing, keep it v1 parallel. Solving 1 and 2 will get v1 parallel and v2 parallel. Okay, fine, this one. So what is the speed of the ball? Speed of the ball will be v1 should be equal to v1 parallel square, v1 perpendicular square, and v2 will be this much. The velocity of the disk after collision, you'll get the answer. Later on, I'll update the answer. I have to check it somewhere. It's okay. I'll give that one. 37. This will be C. 38. This will be
B,
T.
sir.
Yeah. 39. It will be B. check answers later on, calculate. Now let's come for velocity of disk after collision, speed of the ball after collision. So I think that's what V2 and V1 they're asking. Then afterwards, the velocity of approach of the system ball plus disk along line of impact. What is the velocity of approach? Only V cos theta, no? Because the disk is at rest. Very small things really troubles a lot for students. What is the thing? This is before collision, during collision, this is after collision. You should have these three diagrams. Two-dimensional collision only things are required, because during collision will help us a lot in predicting what will happen. Before collision will be there in the book, in the question paper. During collision only you have to draw a diagram in exam. Then you know that after collision they will move. Here only you show it, put an arrow something or something and show it, and write on. No need to other dot. You have to save time like this. I'm telling this one. Everyone knows how to do problems. Saving time is very important. Before collision, question is there in the diagram. Leave it. During collision, draw the diagram. And after collision, here only you show that arrows. The final velocity can be like this. Here only this will be moving like this. Okay, then write down the equation. And what is the best thing? Line of impact is what going to help you a lot in two-dimensional collisions. Okay, fine. Let's take the next condition. Even you see for drawing diagram, everyone finds difficult because exact that geometrical conditions are needed. So little bit you have to be alert. Now let's take two different objects colliding. One sphere, another is hemisphere.
Sir,
Yeah.
could you once scroll up, sir?
Please, I'll send PDF
Yes,
document. No, PDF document I'll be sending, because here I have to magnify, adjust things little bit. Not that flexible, this software. Please do understand. They'll come in contact. Let me draw the sphere first. Hemisphere. Some rough diagram I'm bringing. So they are in contact. So the line of impact will be common normal for the line of impact. This is at a ground. Now directly get into the problem. This is C1. This is C2. How the velocity V0 will be acting like this. So here this velocity V0 you should resolve along line of impact perpendicular to line of impact. Only component of velocity is along line of impact, will be taking at that one. And this is at rest here. So how the impulse will act here in this direction. What about the impulse here on the hemisphere in this direction, on this sphere in this direction? After collision, what do we expect? The velocity of colliding objects. So let this be the V1 parallel. The velocity of this would be V2 parallel. Component of velocity V1 perpendicular like this. This is 2m, this m. So we need this theta. So the theta can be obtained from the triangle C1, C2, this is R, this is 2R. Find the speed of hemisphere and solid sphere after collision is asking. So this much is there. So in what action I can apply conservation of linear momentum? Any direction? This is very important. Let's see that how you analyze. In what direction I can apply conservation of linear momentum? Any direction or only one specific direction? This component of impulse will act on the ground, and because of this, impulse by the ground will come into picture. So therefore, quotient of applying conservation of linear momentum along line of impact. What is the problem? Component of impulse by the ground will come into picture. So therefore, the momentum should be conserved only along x-axis. Because of that, what means j cos theta, net impulse will be 0. So momentum is not conserved along y-axis and also along line of impact. Are you getting that? Why this impulse by the ground will come? Component of impulse j sin theta. Here you see this is theta. J sin theta will act downward. And what happens? The hemisphere will suddenly press the ground. The ground will also will exert equal and opposite force suddenly. And that is what the impulse. The impulse by the ground will come into picture like this. So this component of impulse will act along line of impact, unbalanced. See, these two will be balanced, plus j minus j. What about this is unbalanced? So therefore, momentum is not considered along line of impact. So applying conservation of linear momentum along line of impact, along x-axis only. Slowly you have to be careful. So what is initial momentum? 2m v naught. Finally, 2m. I should take this. This is theta. This is theta. This is theta. After this should be so v1 parallel cos theta. Then another component. To m v1 perpendicular sin theta plus m v2 parallel cos theta. Okay, fine. So this is the one equation what we have. What is v1 perpendicular? V1 perpendicular should be equal to v naught sin theta, because I'll resolve this velocity. V naught and v naught sin theta is what? V1 perpendicular. So we have already information. What is v1 perpendicular? V1 perpendicular should be equal to v naught sin theta. Okay, we got this one. So let's write one more. Unknown things are then v1 parallel, v2 parallel. V1 perpendicular, I obtained it. I'll go for quotient of restitution. There should be v2 parallel minus of anything directed towards right, let it be positive, by v naught cos theta. Initially this is a test, no? So solving this, e v naught cos theta equal to v2 parallel minus v1 parallel. Solving these two will get the required answer. So now find the speed of hemisphere and the solid sphere after collision is asking. So there's one simplest way of doing this problem. Check it, make observation.
Sir? Sir, E in denominator, for the equation of E, sir, we should take V naught, no, sir. Line of impact is along x-axis.
Line of impact, how is the red color line are you not seeing? Line of impact should be along common normal, no? Am I right? The line of impact should be along common normal. Or you could have done that one after collision, the velocity of sphere, let it be. And now one more thing, you look at this. Can this let's be practical. That's what general we think it. How the hemisphere will move after collision? Will move into the ground. After collision, how the hemisphere will move? Along x-axis. How the sphere will move along x-axis? I think somewhere we got into collision and we are messing up things. So shall I show V2 parallel like this or V2 along x-axis? V2 along x-axis. This what again, line of impact resolving all here to be not, don't bother first that one. Practically what will happen after collision? The hemisphere will move horizontally and the sphere will move horizontally. So how the velocities of sphere and hemisphere should be after collision? Should be horizontal. But we did something like this, no? Check it, no. This will not match the answers. You have to look at the calculation. So what should have been the best way of doing this problem? First, naturally, how do they move? I just shown because students will get carried by the collision ideas. But finally, how do they can move? Because the ground will play important role here. So we have forgotten totally the effect of ground. The ground will see that they'll move horizontally. The ground will see that they'll move horizontally. So what actually basically happens here is, no, this is the line of impact. Now, what is the possible direction in which the sphere will move? It will have velocity v1. This will have velocity v2. It's very simple, this much only. And there's a line of impact. Now, this is theta. This will be theta. This will be theta. So this is the velocity v2. This is m, 2m. Why, already told the component of impulse by the ground will act along line of inch, so momentum is not conserved. So therefore, only along x-axis it's conserved. So I'll write it very simple equation: 2mv1 plus mv2. So 2v0 equal to v1 plus v2. See, nothing wrong. In the first way, what happened? We just carried on by that impulse, all that particular thing. There's a ground. The ground will put some restrictions on the motion of this one. Then along line of impact will apply quotient of restitution. E equal to v0. Finally, how much it is? v2 cos theta minus v1 cos theta. Both are directed in direction divided by v0 cos theta. So E equal to E v0. Solve equation 192. You'll get the required answer. No, there's a difference in answers. You'll get it. Sir, what's wrong in thinking like this? Because the very basic assumption is itself is wrong. No, you are just assuming that the hemisphere will move. No, the ground will not permit the hemisphere to move like this. So here is what we went wrong. Getting this, I'll just retain because when two-dimensional collision comes, no, you have to be very careful. So wrong assumption. So the second method is what you should think. This is correct. Just by impulse, you should not bother. You should look at the other constraints that are put by the ground. Okay, so I deliberately, I wanted you to analyze here. You can't take things for granted here. So you're not just colliding objects, even the ground will play a role in deciding the motion of the colliding objects. Fine. So you solve it, you'll get the answer. If you solve by first method, no, there's a wrong thing. Totally, I think somewhere, I'll put it like this. Is it okay now?
Okay, sir.
Okay, now come for next one. Okay, draw that. Anyway, these are disks, no, nothing to do with the ground. They're placed on a horizontal surface. They collide, they come in contact and try to analyze here now. So this is the common. Teaching it, I can't select a draw diagrams very faster. This is the maximum level of what I'm trying. No, this is what collision occurs. Then first we'll show there's a line of impact for this. There's a line of impact. Simultaneously collide with both. Okay, now getting to the problem now. And comes to rest after impact. So in what action the velocities of these spheres should be? Both will have same speed. Yes, both must have same speed. So let this be theta, let this be theta. Write down the question. No? Two equal disks initially at rest are incontactable. A third disk of same mass but of double the radius. The radius is double. So when you draw that triangle, so what you should take is this is r, this is 2r, this is theta. Sorry, this will be 3r.
3R.
Sin theta equal to r by 3r, 1 by 3. Let's write equations now. What makes this to come to rest after impact? This is before collision, this is after collision. I think the impulse acting on the sphere in this direction will reduce, and the same impulse will make it to move. In what direction the momentum is conserved here? Along x-axis, that'll be much easier for us. So applying conservation of linear momentum along x-axis. Initial momentum mu should be equal to final momentum mv cos theta plus mv cos theta. So this should be equal to u equal to 2v cos theta. So v equal to u by 2 cos theta. Sin theta we know this. Cos theta will be root of 1 minus sin square theta. 1 by 9. This will be 9, 8. So 3u by 4 root 2. Okay, this is the velocity, I got it. So how to get that quotient of restitution? There's a line of impact. Then E is equal to V minus of 0 by velocity of this. This is what we assumed u cos theta. So directly substitute this now. V equal to u cos theta. I think already we have some information, you see that one. V is equal to what? U by 2 cos theta. So what is the value of E? E should be equal to? E should be equal to 1 by 2 cos square theta. Substitute this. So we know value of cos theta. Sin theta is 1 by 3, no? So cos theta value you can find out. Substitute that, you'll get the required answer. A object collides simultaneously with other two objects. Yes, you can manage here. In any direction, you can conserve momentum here along y-axis, anyway, initial momentum 0, final momentum 0. I just took help of x-axis here. You'll get the answer this much. Let's take the next one. Yeah, so some impulse ideas I'll introduce. Read the question. Tomorrow we'll discuss few more other application problems on two-dimensional. Let me introduce the impulse ideas also. Now there's a two particles A and B, each are having mass m. What is the length of the string? The length of the string is so this is given, particle B is given, velocity. Yeah, so this is the string. No, I'll project this with a speed. They are kept on a horizontal surface. Mg orbit like perpendicular to plane of paper. Then how long this motion will continue? So finally, the A is at rest. No, this is at rest. So finally, what we'll get it? We'll get a situation where it will be like this, and the string what happen as the B moves horizontally. At one instant, the string will become taut, or it will become straight. So there's a sequence you take it. So now the B what will happen is having a velocity. Very next moment the string will become taut. There's a sequence what you can show it now. After this, what will happen? First problem, and I'm just giving all set of diagrams, so you should really manage the things. The string will become taut. Suddenly string will be jerked and impulse will be set up. And this impulse, what it will do to the particle A and B is what we have to check it now. What will happen after this? Just after the jerk, is asking just after the jerk. So we'll resolve, this will be angle theta. So we'll resolve this velocity into two parts. One u perpendicular, the other will be u parallel. I'm resolving the velocity of the particle B into two components. U perpendicular, other will be u parallel. Now how the impulse J will act along the string. So the u perpendicular should remain as it is. I'll call that as VB perpendicular. This will be VB parallel. So V perpendicular, will write it simple. It will be because the impulse will act in what direction this will move? This will move along the string, that one. So this will have velocity V parallel. This is what the sequence happens. Component of velocity perpendicular to string, what happen will not be disturbed. Only the component of velocity along the string, what will happen? That will change here. Can we apply? So masses are m each. This is now taut. String is jerk. This is just string is what happened about to jerk. Now string is jerked here. Then impulse is set up. Okay, let's what is u perpendicular? Can we calculate first what is theta? I think from the triangle. This will be 2L
30
and this
degrees.
is L. Okay, theta 30 degrees. So we know theta 30 degrees. So this should be theta and this should be theta. So what is u perpendicular? U sine theta. U parallel will be u cos theta. U by 2, u root 3 by 2. So what should happen to V perpendicular? V perpendicular must be equal to U perpendicular. Component will not change. How to calculate V parallel? Applying conservation of linear momentum along the string. along the string. So they should be mv parallel should be equal to initial momentum mu parallel, final momentum mv parallel plus mv parallel. So what is v parallel? U parallel by 2. U parallel is u root 3 by 2 by 2. So u root 3 by 4. And this should be equal to u by 2. So what is the velocity of particle B? V parallel square plus V perpendicular square. What is the velocity of particle A? It should be equal to only V parallel. Now, I'll ask you for some very good questions. Like this is the initial no situation and this is the final. Let's calculate energy. Initial energy is how much? Mu square. Final energy is how much? M VA square by 2 M VB square by 2. Can you say anything about the energy here? You must focus on this. The books, you see, there's a question I picked up from book. Okay, they didn't bother, but we must do learn because when we go for mixed concept, this particular decrease in kinetic energy, where do it will go? Converted as heat. So therefore, this must be an inelastic string. And what will happen to it? It will convert when it absorbs heat. Temperature of that will increase. Thermal expansion occurs slightly. The length of the string will increase. I'll bring this into thermal expansion. Find the increment in the length of the string. That's all. These are the most troublesome questions for you. So from the impulse, I'm taking you to thermal expansion ideas. Just after jerk, so here often when it jerk, no, so that heat will happen, whatever the decrease in kinetic energy will be converted into heat and that will be absorbed by the string. Or we can call that as strain energy. In books, they call that as strain energy. Converted into increase in strain energy of the string. I don't get sound energy, am I right? So it's a very rare we'll get a sound energy. So maximum you should go for will be absorbed by the string in the form of heat. So here loss in kinetic energy delta K. Ki minus Kf will be absorbed by the string. You have to be very careful about these conceptual things. Will be absorbed or heat generated will be absorbed by the string. So now different types of questions will be available. You have to be very careful.
Sir,
No,
how did you say that both A and B will have same velocity, sir?
they're connected by common string. You see that one, inextensible no string. So velocity of B along the string must be equal to velocity of A. Then the string is inextensible.
Okay, sir.
Inelastic, inextensible string. Constraint equation, velocity of the ends along the string must be equal. Y, I'll write corner here. Velocity of ends along the string must be equal. Reason for that? Inextensible, no? As the string is inextensible. So this is a major idea of the problem. Okay, let's take the next one here. Yeah. Now I'm bringing in some other case here, no? Look at it, says pendulum. So only two-dimensional collision, you get lot of diagrams. Remaining all you can manage very easily. This is string. Length of the initial thread of length L at a distance of root 3 L is telling. And there's a bob. It is released from rest. What is the length of the string is L, but how much this resistance is telling root 3 L by 2. Root 3 L by 2 definitely will be less than L. If the string were straight, no, the bob would have been somewhere here. No, I'll release it. So how long it will fall freely? How long it will fall freely? So look at this. So this will be the, now what happened? The string will be jerk. He's asking ball will experience jerk impulse, velocity of ball. Yeah, okay. This much is needed. Let's come for this. So what is this distance? This is root 3 L by 2. This is L. So can we get this theta? Cos theta is equal to
30 degrees.
yeah, theta 30 degrees. Let me write it here. Theta 30 degrees. Just before jerking. So this will have a speed u. That's all, no? After jerk, just after jerk, means a jerk will be produced. No, what can happen to the ball? No. So this is just before jerk. So I'll resolve the velocity of the bob perpendicular to string, parallel to the string. So this should be the u perpendicular and this should be the u parallel. Now when jerk is produced, so here an impulse is set up. Now which component will change, which component will not change? U parallel, what will happen? The bob wants to move away. The bob wants to move away from point of suspension, but the tension string will nullify it. So what will happen to this? This will get nullified. I'm using word nullified. Don't say vanish, better say nullified. The impulse setup, the string will be jerked, and because of the jerk produced, an impulse is set up. That impulse will nullify it. And what happens? This component will remain as it is. So just after jerk, we get a situation like this. Velocity of the ball just after experiencing the jerk. So what can be this height? H sine theta. So H should be equal to L by 2. So what is the velocity U? U should be equal to root of 2GH root GL. Then velocity of ball just after experiencing jerk is, after experiencing jerk, only U parallel will be nullified, no, here. So what is U perpendicular? U perpendicular, this is theta. This should be theta. So U perpendicular should be U cos theta. U root 3 by 2. What is U? Root GL root 3. So this will be okay, fine. So this is the U perpendicular will be U cos theta. Velocity of ball just after experiencing jerk will be impulse applied by the string. How to calculate impulse? The impulse only will nullify it. So that impulse should be equal to mu parallel, or it should be along the string mu parallel minus j equal to this much. So mu parallel should be equal to u sine theta. U is how much? Root GL. Mass of the, if you substitute the mass of the bob, no, then look at that value, that one here. This is impulse. A ball will experience jerk after reaching to the point B. No, point B is somewhere here is telling. Just before reaching point B only, it will experience a jerk. When it arrives here, it will have some velocity. You should apply conservation of mechanical energy between these 2 points. I'll
Sir?
call this as
Sir, C option we won't get, sir. We'll get root GL by 20, not root over the whole thing.
option. We'll check it. Velocity of ball. Okay, no. Velocity of ball just after experiencing jerk is root 3 GL by 2. What we got it?
Sir, C option, sir.
Only C option. Huh?
No, sir, we'll get A and B. We won't get C option.
Mass of the ball 0.1.
Yes, sir.
G length of the string. Everything okay, no?
Sir, we'll only get A, sir.
We'll only get A. Yeah?
No, sir, we'll get A and yes, sir, we'll get only A, sir. Because in B option also they gave root over the whole thing. That is not correct, sir.
Okay, this is some correction either. I'll make it. Then this impulse you have to check calculation. Maybe as mixed with calculations. I'll do one thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no. So the impulse will come in several ways like this. Just check the calculation once. I think I'll make change for here also. Root 3 L by 2. Cos theta will be 30 degrees. This is theta. This is theta. Fine. Yeah. Velocity u will be resolving u perpendicular u cos theta. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. This much only. Come for this. Only we took two, no? I'm just bringing the three balls now. Three particles ABC of masses M1, M2. The threads are straight. The angle between them is theta 60 as shown in figure. Ball is projected with velocity u parallel to the thread connecting the balls B and C. With what velocity will the ball C begin to move? This from Pathfinder. Let's see that how you manage. I'm just bringing three balls like this, 4, 5 balls also. Tomorrow I'll bring other different types of numericals. And all these are basic ideas. They're connected and kept on frictionless horizontal for how mg will act. Mg will act perpendicular to plane of paper. Okay, this much of information there. So let me show that these are the ball. They're connected by two different strings. Here, not one string. Earlier we took only one string. Now two different strings are there. I will project this with a velocity u. What will happen during the course of time? A, B, and C. This is theta. This is string 1. This is string 2. Very next moment, as the A starts moving, will B and C will move? No. The string will become loose. No, here. So I'll give supporting diagram. You see this. This will be the state of string. And finally, when string makes an angle, theta equal to 30 degrees, then what happens? The string will be jerked here. No? So this is what happens here. Now, very next moment, the string will be jerked. Will I agree this? So I just picked up this problem so that immediately when you project, it will not be jerked here. It all depends upon the condition. It will continue to move with a speed u. I'm showing in one diagram everything. So now what will happen? Very next moment after this, it will be jerked. When it is jerked, what conditions will arise? We'll see. No, what can happen to the balls? How do they move? There's a ball C, ball B, and there's a ball A. So what is the best practice? Resolve the velocity of A along the string and perpendicular to string. So this should be the U parallel, U perpendicular. So what will happen to that U perpendicular? Should remain same. So after impulse, so what are the velocity? This will be VA parallel. String will be jerk. Shall I show it here only? It will be jerk J1, and this is J2, and this is J2. Because of that impulse and initial velocity for particle A, what are the velocities? So VA parallel, and this will be VA perpendicular. How the for B you have to show that VB parallel, I think, yeah, VBX, VBY. This will have only VCX. Sir, why C will move only along X? Look at the impulse acting on the C towards right. So VCX. For B, for A, U parallel will change because of J1. So I'm writing VA parallel. What about VA perpendicular? Will not change. I'm very sure it will become U perpendicular because this component is perpendicular to string 1. So this will be as it is. What about B? Why we have to show? So somewhere it will move. So therefore what happen? Because of impulse J1 cos theta and J2, it will have X component of velocity. Because of J1 sin theta, Y component of velocity. So I'll put it in this way. Okay, let's get into the writing impulse momentum equation. Then VA perpendicular must be equal to U perpendicular. So this is theta, this is theta, this is theta. So what is U perpendicular? U perpendicular should be U sin theta. U parallel should be U cos theta. U perpendicular should be U sin theta. And VA perpendicular, and this should be equal to VA perpendicular. Okay, write impulse momentum equation on the particle A. For A, it will be M. Particles masses are different. M1, M2. I'll write it. MA, I'll write it. Let me retain that symbol. MA U parallel minus J1 is equal to MA VA parallel. There's a one equation. Then for the particle C, J2 should be equal to MC VCX. For the particle B, J1 cos theta minus J2 should be equal to MB VBX, and J2 sin theta should be equal to MB VBY. I think we have plenty of unknowns. Look at plenty of unknowns. J1, J2, VA perpendicular only we know it. VA parallel, J1, J2, VA parallel, VCX, VBX, VBY. We need few more set of equations.
Sir,
Uh,
sir, in the fourth equation, shouldn't that be J1 sin theta?
what I wrote, ma? J1.
J2,
Okay,
sir.
J2.
Fourth equation.
Symbol. J1 sin theta equal to MB VBY. Okay, fine. Yeah. Now, what to do next after this? Unknowns are more, no? I'll take constant equation. Velocity of the ends along the string must be equal. So therefore, VBX equal to VCX. Component of VBY along the second string should be 0. So therefore, this I'll call string 2. This is string 1. For string 1, or the for string 2, we'll write it. VBX equal to VCX. Any reason? Because string is inextensible, no? And now after this, come for string 1. For string 1, VA parallel must be equal to VBX cos theta VA parallel should be equal to VBX cos theta plus BBY sin theta. This is the equation 5. This is the equation. Solve it, you'll get the required answer. So now whenever one string is there, either two strings are there. String is inextensible. So velocity of the ends along the string must be equal because the string is inextensible. Why equation 5 and 6? What is the basic idea for 5 and 6? As string is inextensible. String is inextensible, then velocity of the ends along the string must be equal. Velocity of ends okay, no. So this is about the more than one string will come. Sir, why impulse? Why not be same in both the strings? They're two different strings, no? You go back to the basics here. You pull this by a force F. What do you expect the tension in both the strings? Will be different or same? Will be different. I'm asking you to go back to the basics here. So many of you have come across this. M1, M2, M3. If I apply force, will you put same tension in both the strings? No, different tension, no? We write like this, no? No, instead of this force, I'll apply impulse. Tell me what do you expect the impulse here? J1, J2, fine. Simple idea. Now instead of straight, you make it. See, you have to build up the ideas here. It's not that something, okay, I'll solve this problem, I'll apply. Why only I'm thinking like this is very important. When I apply impulse, so definitely here also the impulses must be different. See, if you apply force, when you apply force, so what do you expect the tension here? Here it will be T1, T2 at that instant. Then this T1 is only now will become J1. Why C will go in Y direction at that instant only we are discussing, no, it will move just horizontally. Look at the question, read question, the velocity of the particles just after string is jerked. We are not discussing after some time, just after. So there's a core idea. Why only I'm thinking, why only sir, why J1, J2 you're too different. I think you should not accept blindly. You must come back to the concept because as I go for next higher level problems, no, the background, this is needed. Okay, I'll take the next one. Okay, we'll take, we'll see next. Yeah. Read the question. Say collisions, it's like I'm telling this one very generalized concept. So we can't just put like everywhere the same thing you can put it. So what all you should do, like here now they're colliding and also there is a string is there. One problem I took when they're colliding, the ground came into picture. Now here they're colliding, now the string will come. So like that different situations will come. Don't just bother about impulse due to colliding objects. The impulse due to other things which are there in the system, you have to make observation. This is the basic idea of the collision. In advance, definitely they will ask you problems where impulse other than due to collision will be there in the system. And what is the role of that? Is what you have to put a stress on such numericals here. Okay, let's take the again. So there's a string. A diagram plays a role. So if you are able to analyze diagram very clearly, it's very easy to solve problem. That's what I feel. So this is sphere of, just to make you understand, I'm taking the bigger diagram. No, this ball will come and collide. Identical ball, huh? Both are, they are identical. Okay, fine. This is the thing. Okay, this is the line of impact, no? Already we have discussed the problem. Here, little bit, the ball will be in contact with the string. That's all. Earlier, the ball was moving in a plane. Now it is moving vertically down and collides. So this is the center of C1, C2 will take it. So this will be C1. This is C2. Just before collision, it is having velocity u like this. Then we know any impulse will act here. And the impulse on this will act here. So look at the question now. Length of the string 1.5 meter. This there. Collides elastically. The suspended ball just complete vertical circle after collision. Calculate the velocity of the falling ball just after collision. It is asking to calculate this u. So that after collision, this will complete vertical circle. After collision, what happened to ball A? How do it move? What are the impulses? Impulse due to string also will come. No? So here impulsive JT will now what should happen to this one here? Already I think I discussed the problem, just it's a very simple idea. And now in what action you can conserve momentum? Along line of impact. There's a line of impact. Along x, along line of impact, or along y-axis. Only along x-axis, because component of impulse due to tension the string will be set up, and because of that you see plus j minus j. What about this jt will be unbalanced? So line of impact I cannot conserve momentum. Along y-axis, component of j, this j and this j will be acting, but this will be unbalanced, so momentum is not conserved along y-axis. What about along x-axis? Yes, component of this j and this j will be equal and opposite. Component of jt along x-axis will be 0, so momentum is conserved only along x-axis here. Okay, let's see that. Now it should complete vertical circle. So just after collision, what should be the velocity of this ball should be? So this velocity of ball should be in this direction, so that it will complete vertical circle. Then what about the ball, other ball? The other ball, how do it will move? An impulse will act, component of impulse will act vertically, other component impulse will be acting here. So let's show the other ball, the situation of other ball. Rough diagram. Oh. Yeah. So this will be the thing, that one. So other ball will have some velocity, say VBY, VBX. Applying conservation of linear momentum. So what is VA? We know, we are very sure, no? What should be VA? VA should be equal to root of IGL. We know length of the rope. So this will be 1.5. Root 75 meter per second, or 5 root 3. Okay, clear this. Then after getting VA, can we calculate VBX? Momentum must be considered. Initial momentum along x-axis 0. So final momentum should be let's go write it here. Initial momentum 0. Final momentum should be MA VA minus MB VBX. Since MA equal to MB, so therefore VA equal to VBX. So I got the x component of velocity of this one. So therefore, what is the VBX should be equal to? VBX should be equal to 5 root 3 meter per second. So I know VBX. You know, component of impulse only will produce that particular velocity, no? So here you resolve. So what is the, I think, collision. So when it occurs, I think we need this theta. If I know this theta, so J sin theta only will impart that. J sin theta should be equal to MB VBX. From this, I know theta. Theta should be, I think, 2r by r. Theta should be 30 degrees. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Theta is 30 degrees. So J by 2 M 5 root 3. So J is equal to 10 root 3 M. Now, if I know this impulse, can I calculate now other thing, that one? I don't know VBY. How to calculate VBY? Applying quotient of restitution along line of impact. This is after collision. This is before collision. Then applying quotient of restitution formula. This is theta. This is theta. I want theta, no? This is theta. This will be theta. Yeah. Okay, let's write quotient of restitution formula. Collides elastically. So 1 is equal to, or let me write, E is equal to VA sine theta minus, I need some little bit space, more space I need it. I'll slide down. I'll write, looking at these two diagrams, quotient of restitution formula. E is equal to VA sine theta, this will be positive, minus VBY cos theta, positive, minus of, this will be VBX sine theta. Now two components I'm bringing. How it is possible? And this should be U cos theta. This is initially at rest, no? Try to see this. Why two components have come here? Look at this part of the thing. After collision, velocity of ball B, VBY cos theta will be there along line of impact, and other component VBX sin theta, and now VBX sin theta in that direction. So I'm putting both the components here. So we know what all we know: VBX, we know VA, we know VBX and VA, and we know U, we know E equal to 1. Solving will get VBY. After getting VBY, then what I do is I'll apply the impulse concept. So what is the impulse? MU minus j cos theta should be equal to m vby. Problem really is it's twisting lot of things here, that one.
Sir,
Then
is
we
E equal to 1?
E equal to 1, it's given, no? Equal to 1. So now we know j, we know theta, we know vby. Substituting this, we'll get the value of u. No, 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 no. That is, it's in contact. What happened? That impulse JT is acting only on the ball A, will not have any impact on the ball B. That impulse JT will not have any impact on it. So JT acts only on ball A.
Sir,
Ah.
U should be equal to VB, no sir. VBY.
Impulse is acting, no, J cos theta. J cos theta will be there, no? Because of J cos theta, things will change. Okay. This is after collision, this is before collision. VBY you may get negative also. That you have to check it from the calculations. Now the answer are given, cross check afterwards. So now see, like, is there any loss in E equal to 1 is telling. So no loss in kinetic energy, that one. So this will come and collide and it will impart the momentum. Collision occurs, but impulse is set up in the string, no? Because of the impulse setup, jerk is produced. So there should be some energy. How to justify? On one side E equal to 1 is there and a jerk is produced here. How to justify this? A jerk is produced here, no? And it's an elastic collision. See, the collision between them occurs elastically. There'll be exchange of velocities since masses are same. So there'll be exchange of velocities will occur. All that particular thing. So now what happened? Here, sir, can't we use exchange of velocity along line of impact? Why I didn't think like this? Anybody? Why didn't we go for any exchange of velocities along line of impact?
Sir, JT component is acting.
The value of JT is acting here. So therefore it's better to take help of momentum equation, impulse momentum equation. Intentionally elastic and he has brought masses same. So the students what happen will go wrong. Okay, you get all very situations. So therefore, shall we make a, I think there's a second numerical I brought it. Whenever two bodies colliding, is there any other impulse are acting on the system? If they are acting means I think we have to be alert. We can't just straight away write some equations and come out. We should take care about that other impulses also on the system. Keeping that in mind, we should manage it. But impulse momentum equation is a very generalized, no? It's a very generalized equation. In any circumstance, you can apply it. Sir, in any frame, can you apply? Yes, in inertial or non-inertial frame. Even impulse due to other forces also can be taken here. Is impulse due to string, impulse due to friction, impulse due to ground normal contact. I think three things you have seen. Impulse due to pseudo force will also come. Even in non-inertial frame, you can apply impulse momentum equation. So there is no any restriction on that particular impulse momentum equation that only in a like a ground frame you can apply it. Even in a rotating frame, even in a moving frame, even in an accelerating frame, you can apply it. So we must be very good in applying that impulse momentum equation. The overall collisions revolves around that impulse momentum equation. Okay, now think on this. Yeah, I think we have 6 minutes time. Just let's try to get an idea. Read the question. Length of the string is greater than the height, the point of suspension from the ground. This is a ground. I think I need some around more than 15 minutes to explain this. A lot of diagrams are there. I'll wind up class here. We'll continue from this problem from tomorrow. Okay, all of you?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, all of you. Take care. Bye. See you.